get ready to go. We're glad that you're all here, so now it's time to start the show. We're not in school, but we can still pretend by making music until this ends. We're making music with our Falcon friends.
Hey there, 5th grade. Guys, we are finally moving away. We're going to a brand new place. We're going to the Caribbean. And this week we're going to learn a little bit about the Caribbean. And we're also going to be making 3, count them, 3 new instruments. Okay? So hopefully you got your materials collected from last week. Put them together this week, make some new instruments, make some new music, and enough talking. Let's actually get to it. Let's make some music.
We're making music with our Falcon friends.
All right, 5th grade. Now, last week I said we were leaving Africa, and we are leaving Africa, going somewhere else in the world. Before we get there, I'm going to talk a little bit today about music. I know it's kind of weird to talk about music. Why not just make music? Well, we're getting there. Patience. But we're going to start by talking about some very simple instruments. Now, did you know, and I think I've said this before, anything can be an instrument. Anything. That's because there is a very basic type of instrument. It's called an idiophone. Now, what does that mean, an idiophone? Well, it's an instrument that makes sound one of 3 ways, okay? You can hit them, you can scrape them, or you can shake them. You can think of many things in your house that you could hit that would make a sound. Maybe some things that you could scrape that would make a sound. And definitely some things you could probably shake that would make a sound. Well, all of those things could be used as musical instruments because, you know, that's kind of how musical instruments even got started a very long time ago. Think about this. Going outside. You come across 2 sticks and you hit them together. What's going to make a sound? And if you start putting a rhythm on it, well, you've got a musical instrument. One type of instrument that's pretty popular that you hit together are these. I showed these to you last week. Cloaves. They're really just 2 sticks that you hit together. These are a little bit finer. These are a little bit nicer. These are a little bit more handcrafted as opposed to just grabbing 2 sticks and hitting together. But really, that's kind of what these are. Cloaves. One type of instrument, of an idiophone, is one that you hit together. Another one is one that you scrape. Something you could scrape. Well, think of something outside that might have like a little bit of a groove to it, some jagged edges, maybe like a rock, for instance, or like a pine cone, for instance. If you got a stick and you scraped it along a rock that wasn't smooth, it might make like a, or a pine cone, might make a cool sound. Well, there's a musical instrument that does that too. It's called a güiro. There it is. It looks like a fish. They paint these to look really cool. But if I take a stick and scrape it, it makes a really cool sound. That's pretty cool. You can make some cool rhythms. And you could really do this with something that you have outside of your house, something out in nature. A lot of these instruments are originally things that were just found lying around. So some you can hit, some you can scrape, and the other type of idiophone is something that you can shake. I bet you're all familiar with at least one instrument you can shake, but think about something that maybe isn't an instrument, you can shake it. How about, back in the fall, got pumpkins and gourds. Well, if those dry out, you got the seeds inside, don't they? You could shake those and it might make a pretty cool sound. There are different things out in nature that you could make sound with. You could even gather a whole bunch of little pebbles, little rocks, or even little seashells along the ocean if you live there, which maybe we don't, but maybe you will someday. Take all those things and put them in something and shake them around and you got an instrument. Because you can shake it, it makes sound. Well, there's one really, really popular instrument that does that. The maracas. Obviously, maracas, you shake them. So another type of an instrument, maracas. You shake them. So we got ones that you shake, ones that you scrape, and ones that you hit together. Now, these 3 instruments all have something in common. And these 3 instruments have something in common. Well, they're all musical instruments. They're all idiophones. But more specifically, they are all from the same part of the world. They all come from the same area on our planet. They all come from actually not too far away from here. The Caribbean. The Caribbean, we've been talking about that. From now on, I'm going to say the Caribbean. That's what I'm going to say. If I say Caribbean or Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say both of them each time. I'm We've only got so much time here, guys, okay? So, the Caribbean. Where is the Caribbean? You guys know? Well, you know where Florida is? Hopefully you're familiar with an American map. Florida. The Caribbean is right below Florida. If you go further than Florida, you're going to end up in the Caribbean. And the Caribbean is actually made up of a whole bunch of islands. I'm going to show you a little picture here. I found it online. You can search this yourself. There's Florida. Say hello to Florida. There it is. Oh, it looks so nice. But there are some islands that are off of the coast of Florida. And I bet you've heard of some of these. Cuba. Ever hear of Cuba? Cuba is part of the Caribbean. Ever hear of the Bahamas? It's another island nation down there in the Caribbean. Ever hear of the Dominican Republic? Maybe you've heard of that. Shares an island with the Dominican Republic. Ever hear of Haiti? It's part of the Caribbean. Jamaica. Ever hear of Jamaica? It's part of the Caribbean. All these are really famous places that you've probably heard of before. How about Puerto Rico? You hear of Puerto Rico? Of course, Puerto Rico is part of the Caribbean. The Cayman Islands. Maybe not have heard of that one. It's down there, though. Bermuda. Ever hear of that? Guys, there's a whole ton of islands here. You can actually look this up and find some cool maps and find some different islands down there. But these islands share a lot of similarities with their music. They share a lot of instruments because it's all from the same kind of area, okay? So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be learning a little bit about some of these instruments. And in fact, the three that I showed you, the maracas, the güiro, and the cloaves, I told you last week you needed some materials. That's because we're going to be making these three instruments today. So, get your materials ready and get ready to literally make some music.
We're making music with our Falcon friends.
All right, guys, today we are making some maracas. Now, these maracas are made out of wood. They're very nice. They're painted. Ours are not going to look quite as nice, but they're going to work just as well, okay? So, if you have maracas, well, no need to make them. But if you don't have maracas, here is a pretty fun way to make them. Here's what you need. Easter eggs, the small variety, okay? Get the smaller ones, not the bigger ones. You can get bigger ones if you want to have gigantic maracas, I guess, but the smaller ones will work just as fine. You also are going to need 4 plastic spoons, okay? You're also going to need some duct tape. Scissors can be helpful too. And some rice, just a little bag of rice. Okay, you can probably figure out how we're going to be making these maracas. First things first, we're going to take some of the rice and we're going to put it inside of the egg. Careful not to drop any like I just did. And once you have some rice in there, you can sort of shake it and see what it sounds like. Maybe fill it up a little bit more or take a little bit out. Get it? So it sounds like you want it to sound. A good shaking sound. All right, that sounds pretty good. Now, you want to do it for both of the eggs, not just one of them. Take some rice, put it in there. Okay. Getting rice all over the place here. That's okay. We'll have dinner later, I guess. All right. And we'll shake that one. Sounds good. Okay, now, if you left them like this, you have some egg shakers. Those are pretty cool. But I want to make maracas. This is where the spoons come in, okay? Now watch. Pretty easy to figure out. Take the egg shaker, or the egg, I should say. Put it in the spoons like this. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now, once you have it sort of set up, take some duct tape. I'm going to use my Super Mario duct tape because that's where I'm at in my life right now. I have Super Mario duct tape. Okay, I'm going to rip a little piece of that. And we are going to tape around the spoons so that they will stay put. One piece around the top, just like that. That works. Now, if you use just plain masking tape, you can actually like decorate it. You can use markers and crayons and other types of pens and things like that and really make it look nice. You're also going to want to take a little piece of duct tape and you're going to want to do it around the bottom, around the handle as well. Okay. All right. Make sure it stays together. Do the same thing for the other egg shaker as well. With the spoons, take some duct tape. And want to make sure your spoons are clean. Don't use dirty spoons. That's be a little gross. Okay. Like that. And put just a little piece around the bottom too. So they stay together, and you got a little bit of a handle there then too. And voila, guess what? We got some maracas. Pretty cool, okay? They're very easy to make. You just need a couple little things. So down in the description below, there's a link to a flip grid. Go ahead and send me a video of your maracas. I'd like to see what you came up with, all right? So have fun making them, design them, color them, make them your own, and have some fun making some music with them.
We're making music with our Falcon friends.
All right, 5th grade, time for our next instrument. Making lots of instruments today. We're going to be making these. I showed you these last week. These are called Cloaves. They're very cool. They're really just pieces of wood that you hit together. Cloaves are a very specific type of wood, and they have a very specific type of sound. So if you were able to actually get a pair of these, good for you. You don't have to make your own Cloaves, but I'm going to show you how you can make them. But if you have them, then you're good to go. If you don't have them, you can make them. But I'm going to just say this right now. You need a parent. You need an adult, okay? I know you're in 5th grade, but you still need an adult. So repeat after me. I, whatever your name is, say your name, will not make these Cloaves without a parent. You need a parent's help. You need someone's help, okay? Get an adult, because you'll see why in a second. First thing you need is one of these. A very big, long, 7/8 of an inch dowel rod. You can get these at Home Depot, at Lowe's. You can get them sometimes at Michael's or at Hobby Lobby, craft stores. But it needs to be 7/8 of an inch. That's probably the perfect size for one of these, okay? What you want to do is, with a ruler, measure to 6 inches from the top, make a little mark, and then this is where you need your parents. Do not do this yourself. I cannot stress this enough. I am telling you right now, do not do this yourself, okay? Don't. If you're thinking about it, don't. And if you're not thinking about it, good, because you shouldn't, okay? Have your parent saw or cut the dowel rod at 6 inches, okay? You need to do that 2 times, because you're going to end up with 2 of these little dowel rods, okay? Again, you need your parents' help. You need an adult. Some adult in your house can help you with this, okay? Unless you bought them, in which case you're good. Okay, now you have these. Sandpaper. If you have sandpaper, this is a good thing to have. You can rub down the sides here a little bit, and you can get them nice and smooth. You want to have them nice and smooth so they don't cut you, so they don't give you any paper cuts. So a little bit of a sanding there, okay? And do that on both edges. Ooh, that's feeling better already. Get all those extra little pieces you'll have after your parents, not you, have sawed them. Yep, pretty straightforward. Just get them nice and smooth. Ooh, that's good. Okay, and do it for both of them. Now, if you're feeling particularly creative and you want to color these or paint these, I guess you could. Might affect the sound a little bit, but you can experiment a little bit. It's always fun to kind of experiment with what you're doing. See how it changes the sound a little bit. But once you have that done, you've got 2 perfectly good Cloaves here. Take a listen. Doesn't sound quite the same. The pitch is a little bit higher. It's a different type of wood. They're also a different size, but these can work just as well as Cloaves. So, if you have a parent available nearby with a saw, they can do this. If not, let's say you don't have a saw. Let's say you can't do this for whatever reason. That's okay. Really, you just need 2 things that you can hit together. This is the important thing, is the motion, okay? So you can make your own Cloaves, you can buy your own Cloaves, or just get 2 things that won't break when you hit them together, okay? Make a nice, good sound, okay? So have some fun, be safe, and once again, please, please, you have to have your parents help you with this one. This isn't the maracas. You can do the maracas all by yourself, okay? These you can't, okay? So make sure you have an adult to help you out and have some fun with your new Cloaves.
We're making music with our Falcon friends.
All right, fifth grade, we saved the hardest one for last. We now have maracas, we now have Cloaves. It's time for the güiro. The güiro from Latin America. It's a very lovely instrument. It looks so nice. And you'll notice on this güiro it has these little ridges that run up and down the back of it all along, just like that. And when you have a stick, you can actually make a cool sound. Like that. Pretty cool. How could we make one of these? Well, there's a lot of different ways you could make this, but I'm going to show you a super easy way. You have a cowbell, don't you? Look at the cowbell. Look at the tin can. That looks awfully familiar. That's like the exact same thing. Guess what? It's a güiro! There you go, you're done. That's it. You just made a güiro. You turn it on its side, and you take a stick or a pencil, and you can play it, okay? Very simple to do. You can use different size tin cans, get some different sounds. Use a small one, maybe use a really big one. They have those like this. You'd have to take off the enchilada thing to make it, actually work, because you can't do it a long way. I guess you could, but it won't sound quite as good. Here you go. It's a güiro, okay? Try different things as a stick. Experiment a little bit. Go down, go up. You can go different ways and get different types of sounds, okay? This is actually the easiest one. I lied to you, I'm sorry. But I didn't lie to you about making these, okay? Please, again, you need a parent to make these. This, you don't need anybody. You can just grab your cowbell literally and do that, okay? So, if you have a cowbell, if you have a tin can, you're good to go for your güiro. Feel free to decorate it a little bit if you want to. Be kind of fun. Make it look like a fish if you want. I don't care. Have some fun. But you can post about it in the flip grid below like you did for your maracas. Hopefully like you're going to do for your Cloaves if you have those, and for your güiro. These are our 3 new instruments that we're going to be using starting next week to learn some new patterns for some music from Latin America. So have some fun making some instruments and have some fun making some music.
We're making music with our Falcon friends.
Well, we sure had fun this week, didn't we? So, until next time, grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear the pitter pat and the happy tune is your step? Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Now I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I ever had a cent, I'd be as rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. See you next time, guys.